What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to Omar BYT, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the match preview of the Barcelona versus Valencia game, ladies and gentlemen. International break is officially over. Thank God, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to go back to club football. And it is time for La Liga football. The first home game. I know we're not playing at the Camp Nou, I know. But yeah, it is the first home game, official home game for Barcelona in the brand new La Liga season. And listen, we're still undefeated. 7 out of a possible 9 points. It's not bad at all. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to play in the home fan stadium, ladies and gentlemen. And we are going to be playing who? Valencia, ladies and gentlemen. Valencia are coming to Barcelona. And it is time to get into it, guys. We're going to be talking about the match time, everything you need to know about these two teams' forms coming into the game, where they are on the tables, injury updates and everything else. And yeah, man, if you guys like that, make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. And ladies and gentlemen, there it is. First 3 games of the La Liga season. Barcelona right now are sitting 4th right now. We are currently joint 3rd, I guess, with Villarreal and Espanyol with 7 points. Obviously, we won our first 2 games. You know, the first game was a 3-0 convincing win. We struggled in the game against Levante, but still got the job done with a 3-2 win. And obviously, Rayo Vallecano, right before the international break, did unfortunately end for us in a 1-1 draw. And we should count our lucky stars because it could have been way, way, way worse, right? And, you know, but still, we still did our thing and we still ended up going out and not losing the game and still being undefeated coming into this game. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, Valencia, very interesting start to their new season. Right? They got 2, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, they've got a draw, a loss, and a win. So they won, I think if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I think they won their last game in the league. But as you can see, guys, they had a win, a loss, and a draw. So they're sitting 4 points right now in the table, on 9th in the table right now. And listen, let's be real here, right? Before we get into it, this is going to be a very, very important game for Barca because it is the first home game of the season. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, it is going to be a late kickoff for the people who live around the GMT areas like Greenwich Mean Time, where it's going to start around 8 p.m. over there. For the people who live around the West here in the United States, the game will be starting at 3 o'clock p.m. Here in the United States. And yeah, man, it's gonna be the late kickoff in La Liga on Sunday night. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, this, as you can see, here it is. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the head-to-head. And this brings a smile to my face. This right here brings a smile to my face because look at that record. We have absolutely battered Valencia in the last few games we played them. Last season, it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. Look at that. We beat them 5-0, 7-1, and 2-1. 3 times last season. One of them was in the Copa del Rey and the 2 were in the league. Right? Before that, we beat them 4-2. In fact, you would have to go all the way down to 2020 was the last time we lost to Valencia. 2020. So to say we have a great record against Valencia would be a huge understatement, right? We've absolutely battered them in the past few games. And look, after the performance we saw against Rayo, I need us to step up in this game. Huge step up. I want to see all of the players give it their all in this game, right? I want to see an absolute beatdown. It doesn't have to be a 7-8-0, right? Like many people think. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about a convincing win. A win where it was never a doubt. Where all the players turn up. Because in the last game, we didn't turn up. The players didn't turn up. The stars didn't turn up. I want the stars to turn up for this one. So we need to turn up for this game. I need to see an incredible performance from this team. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Unfortunately, we came back from the international break with not the best of news because, unfortunately, we've been hit with the injury bug. We've been hit by the injury bug. This is not great news. There was a lot of speculations on certain players who might not be fit, certain players. But if there's any good news, is that this word on Lamine Yamal's back injury is not as bad because we did see him play against Turkey, right? So he was fine to go in that game. So I will say this, I'm happy that Yamal's injury is not too bad, but unfortunately I can't say the same for certain other players. We will not have Frankie de Jong, we will not have Alejandro Balde, and we will not have Gavi in the games against Valencia. And some of these guys are going to be out for a while. Like you can see, Gavi and Alejandro Balde are basically sidelined for the rest of this month. They are not going to be available in the squad. Frankie de Jong, there's talks that he might come back on the bench in the game against Newcastle in the Champions League. However, when it comes to this game against Valencia, do not expect to see him. He will not be available in this game. And look, it is really unfortunate, right? Especially for players like Gavi, right? He had worked hard during the preseason, right? He was one of the better players in the preseason. I think that if he was fit, he would have probably started in this game, right? But unfortunately, as you can see, he is still, apparently it's the knee that he had, the ACL injury that's been giving him a lot of pain. There was a lot of speculations that he's going to need surgery, but that's been confirmed that it's not going to happen. So he's just recovering from, some knee issues. And yeah, unfortunately with Frankie de Jong, he did suffer some thigh pain during the game against Poland for the Netherlands, and he kind of pulled out of the last game in the international break to come back to Barcelona. And yeah, Alejandro Balde was actually out way before Frankie de Jong and Gavi. He was out before the international break. So it's really unfortunate to have these three injuries because these are big losses coming into this game against Valencia. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the prediction lineup I have gone with, and as you can see, there's been a big few changes I have made in this predictor 11, guys. And I'm gonna be honest, there's gonna be a lot of this I think I'm gonna get wrong, but I'm still gonna go for it, ladies and gentlemen. I've gone with the traditional 4-2-3-1 formation that Hansi Flick goes with Joan Garcia would be in goal, where Araujo and Christensen gonna have their first partnership of the season in this game against Valencia. Gerard Martin will be at left back in this game to replace the injured Alejandro Balde. Now, this is the one where I'm actually putting my neck on the line here. This could be the one where anything can happen. I'm going with Eric Garcia to start in this game against Valencia, but don't be surprised if it's Koundé that starts in the right back position, and Casado will be back in the midfield pairing with Pedri, and as you can see, Fermin Lopez will be back in the starting lineup in this game against Valencia. And as you all can see, guys, in the front three, I've made a big change. Lamine Yamal is benched for this one, right? Because they were saying he had back pain. So I think Flick, don't be surprised if Flick decides to bench him in this one, bring him on in the second half. He's going to start Rashford in the left with Rafinha playing in his natural right wing position, with Lewandowski playing his first start of the brand new season in this game against Valencia. Now, this is a big ballsy move here from me, guys, but still, I'm going to go for it. I think that this would be a good lineup to play against Valencia in this game. And you know what? There's going to be a lot of changes happening in the second half, dependent on how well we play going into the end of the game. And for me, guys, I think that Barcelona are going to step up for this. We need a statement win. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be extravagant, but it needs to be convincing, right? So I'm going to go. I went 4-0 a few days ago on Coolest Culture, but you know what? I'm going to go Barcelona 3, Valencia 0, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go 3-0 Barcelona. And let's get this ready. Let's get this big statement win for the big game in the Champions League on Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. But let me know what you guys think about this game, guys. Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and yeah, man, make sure to let me know what you guys are thinking. Smash the likes, subscribe. Visca el Barça, Visca el Catalunya, and peace. Take care.